Well, welcome to tonight's show. You're with Tom, Brian and Steve, and this is NRL from the Sidelines. And as we do every time this week, we are going to talk about the NRL round that has just been completed and next week's round coming up. Gentlemen, how are we tonight?
Oh, we're fighting fit.
Why is that? Why are you so happy, Brian?
Because it's Monday night.
That's good.
That's it. That's all I've
That's all we
got.
got.
Really? You say nothing about your team?
Not yet, no.
Okay.
No, who cares about them?
Oh, please. You want me to say it? Raise your hand if your team's in the top 4. No, put your hand down.
And we established that Rabbitohs fans can't count.
Hey, Canterbury Cup, we are leading the competition. Thank you very much.
Whoa.
Can we just clarify the name of this show? NRL, not Canterbury Cup from the Sidelines.
Let me cross it out. Canterbury Cup from the Sidelines.
No, I don't like that idea.
Tom, how are you?
Different week, same result.
Oh, cocky Roosters. Oh, cocks. Sorry. I meant crowing.
Oh, dear.
Oh,
Yes.
dear.
Anyway,
You know, it's one thing to gloat, but come on, you got to
Yeah.
say something.
Yeah, like, I didn't...
I'm feeling good. Okay? I'm feeling happy.
Let him
No.
have it. Let him
All right,
have
we're
it.
Gonna all right, we'll let him have it. We'll let him have it.
All right.
Could be a long show at this rate. Okay, gentlemen, we are going to talk about round 23.
Yes.
2 weeks to go for the regular
Quarterfinals,
season.
And we're all going to be in there.
Yes.
Some will last longer than others, but
That's right.
we'll talk about that later.
Correct.
You shouldn't put yourself down like that, Steve.
Yeah, it's okay, Steve. We understand.
Yeah.
Let's talk about last Thursday night at ANZ Stadium where the Dogs beat Parramatta Eels 12-6.
I think you'll find it was Banquest, but that's okay.
What did I say?
Where did he say it was?
ANZ.
Who cares?
Soulless. It's not soulless. Bankwest was full.
Listen, I've had a
Yeah.
big weekend.
Okay.
Yeah, this was a game and a half.
It was a good game.
I was impressed, and I did not expect that result, so I'm very happy. Sorry, Janelle. Very happy. Janelle being one of our regular listeners. We should call out occasionally to our regular listeners.
We should.
We should.
You
You
said-
know?
Your team sucks, Janelle. I hate Parramatta.
Oh, hang on. When you say call out, you actually mean abuse, do you?
Yeah.
I hope you're watching, Janelle.
And
I
Get
Yeah.
it back on Facebook.
And can we just say that the comments of one of our commentators is not a reflection of what the show actually means or says.
Yes.
It's his own opinion.
That's right. So Steve's opinion doesn't count.
It never does anyway. Anyway, okay, let's talk
All right.
about Parramatta.
Yes.
Let's talk about the Dogs. What'd you think?
Yeah, terrific.
I thought it was a fantastic game. One thing is for sure and certain. There's 2 standouts I think in that Dog side at the moment, and that's Kieran Foran and Will Hopewadi.
Yep.
They are head and shoulders above everyone else.
Both Manly players, ex-Manly players.
Yep.
You weren't going to say that, were you?
No, I wasn't. But
it breaks his heart to say.
At least they
it
weren't
does.
at least they weren't juniors that left them.
Yeah, they were.
He falls in the pit. I dig
Right
him a
in
hole.
there,
He
yeah.
falls in the
Yeah,
pit.
you can't keep everyone,
No, you know that.
and it's unfortunate. Yeah, no, I thought it was a great game. Parramatta threw everything they could at them. The Dogs just defended and defended and defended.
All game.
As they have for the last
You know,
few weeks.
they're scrappy with their wins. I don't think they don't offer a lot in attack. I don't think they can score many more than 2 or 3 tries at the most in a game.
But they have the confidence to be able to hold people out.
Considering Parramatta's record at Bankwest, which is phenomenal, they've scored hundreds of points there, and they've only played a handful of games.
Yep.
That was just fantastic defensive display.
Yep.
Very impressive.
Yeah, like I said, I think the Dogs would love this season to go on and on and on. Because I think they're building. And unfortunately, the season's going to be over for them.
Well, I tell you what, it's interesting. Last week we talked about a whole bunch of results had to go their way for them to make the semis.
And they are.
And they are. Each one of those results over the weekend
And look, I
favoured
would
the
be
Dogs.
absolutely...
They can't make
I
it.
would be
I
absolutely...
know they can't make
But
it.
I'd be absolutely thrilled if the Dogs got into the finals. I really would, because I think they've earned this last 6, 7, 8 weeks.
Yeah.
They've earned it,
Yeah. Interestingly, Jack Cogger has been named on the bench for the Dogs for the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Yep.
Definitely the last 2, and he hasn't played a single minute. Is that the way the game's heading with the HIA and the way that things are working? You've got to carry a specialist back.
I think it's going that way. Yes.
I mean, it is. I mean, I don't know. Like Jack Cogger's. Well, I don't know. I'm obviously not a first grade coach, and I'd have him in the team somewhere. I think he's a fantastic player, but to put him on the bench in 0 minutes, I find that's odd. It was odd last week, and in this game here, he's a reasonable attacking player.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I'm not sure you'd keep a half on the bench, but I think you'd certainly keep a forward who's got some pace about him to put in the backs if you need to. So a Kyle Turner, those sort of players who can fit into a back line if you need them to. But
I wonder if he's ever played hooker, or he was utility value.
Yeah.
Either way, I don't know. But yeah. So yeah, that's the Dogs. But are the Eels the real deal?
Well, I don't think Parramatta were all that bad the other night. The Dogs just they were tenacious.
Yeah.
They just kept going.
Yeah, but if you're a premiership contender, you've got to put teams like that away.
Well, hang on. But look at the teams that the Dogs have put away in the last 6 weeks.
Yeah.
They're reasonable teams.
No, they're all reasonable teams except for the Dragons and the Titans.
Yeah, but I mean, they beat South. They don't say it. They what was it? 20 to 12
20 to
against Melbourne.
And 20 to 12 against the Roosters.
Against the Roosters. So you know what they might have lost those games, but they were in them.
Oh, for sure.
So you know what I think anyone who faces the Dogs over the next 2 weeks, if they turn up complacent, they will get smashed.
Well, not smashed, but they'll get held. Yeah.
So interesting.
Interesting game.
All right.
Okay, so let's go on to 1300 Smiler Stadium, where North Queensland probably finished off Penrith for the year and winning 24 to 10.
Yep.
Yeah,
Penrith done for the year?
Yep.
I don't get Penrith. Honestly, I really don't get them. I mean,
No.
they've got so much talent and just squandering it. I just don't get it.
They didn't seem to turn up, did they? They just didn't seem to. Well, you know what? North Queensland had enthusiasm. They played well. They played a good structured game. I don't know what it was, but all of a sudden they turned it on, and Penrith just didn't turn up.
Yeah, I'd hate to be a Penrith supporter at the moment. Because you're right.
We have a few.
I know we do. We've got a few viewers who are Penrith supporters. I don't understand. It's the same old problem. The old heads play well in those circumstances and under that pressure, and the Panthers are happy to move the next bloke along, move him along for the next, move him along for the next. You've really got to, I don't know. In my mind, you've got to go through the hard times to win the good times.
Yep.
So I mean, have a look at Bulldogs have got Dallin Watene-Zelezniak off them this year. He's going great guns over at the Dogs.
But often that happens. You know, you get a new lease of life over at another club.
Wonga Blake, Corey Harawira-Naira. I mean, they've let a lot of really good first graders go. Either their talent retention is not on spot, and they're letting the wrong players go, or they're just not. I don't know. They're just not holding on to them.
Yeah.
Taking nothing away from North Queensland.
Yeah, and interestingly, Green and Morgan apparently had a bit of an argument at a function, post-game function, I think, or something like that. And so I wonder whether there was anything in that.
Apparently not the first time.
Yeah. I think Green would be a tough man to be coached by. I think he wouldn't suffer any fools. I don't think he's just that kind of character, I reckon.
Yeah, but Michael Morgan is certainly a reasonable player.
Sure.
But interestingly enough, Tamalalo was back this week, so
he
makes a big difference to that team.
Huge difference.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, still ran for over 150 metres. Just the guy's a machine.
Yeah.
He just keeps going.
He
So
is.
I don't know. Anyway, but the Cowboys are gone, and I think they've finished off the Panthers.
Okay. Let's go on to Suncorp Stadium, where the South Sydney Rabbitohs beat the Brisbane Broncos 22-20, and this was a good game.
It was a great game.
It was a very, very good game.
One of the two best of the weekend.
Yeah, I agree.
With the other one being the Parramatta Canterbury game.
No.
Oh, no?
He's baiting you.
No,
Careful.
I wasn't. Anyway,
I'm just curious to what game he thought was good.
here he goes.
That's what I'm saying. He's baiting you.
No, I'm serious.
Anyway,
So look, this was a good game, and you know what? It was good as a South supporter to see a bit of fight, you know, and a bit of grit. And yes, James Roberts went a little bit too far when he fell on the player.
that's saying something.
Wayne Bennett didn't even defend him.
He was getting up and he actually slipped and he just accidentally fell back on the player again. And you know what? We'll wear that.
That kind of attitude is absolutely indefensible.
I know.
Honestly.
Seriously. Seriously. And I was actually, you know, I don't go much on Wayne Bennett. I'm one of these people who think that Wayne Bennett is he's a bit of a stick in the mud. But when he was asked about that incident, he went, "No, indefensible. It was just wrong."
True. It's and you know what? He came out before that game and talked about some grubby things that is happening, and he said, "We got to rub it out. We got to stop hitting players in the head. We got to keep it all below the shoulders."
Well, his players listened to him, didn't they?
Well, you know what? Yeah.
Oh, look, heat of the moment. You know,
Players do some dumb things sometimes.
And I think James Roberts was trying to prove a point, saying, "I'm not with you anymore." And look at
he
us.
is. He is, and he went too far.
Yeah, and he was lucky to get two weeks, and he was lucky not to be sent off. Honestly,
I don't know.
That was a send-off offence.
I think
that was deliberate.
I think it was a send-off offence.
And his head had nowhere to go but to be pounded into the ground. I mean, you know, if you slap somebody in the face, there's you know, he hadn't. That was just bad.
I think there are a lot of things that happen throughout each game that if you're going to send that off, then you're going to be sending a lot of players from the field.
Yeah, good.
You know?
But if they deserve it, why not?
Absolutely.
Seriously.
I don't know.
Yeah, I thought that.
That's how you get rid of it.
But it was a quality game. I mean, South got out to a decent 14-point lead before the Broncos came back.
Do you really think it was a quality game?
I do.
See, because I observed the Broncos in this game because I was on them.
Did you?
Everybody was on them except for you.
Well, I wasn't. Yes.
They play a lot of one-out football.
Yeah.
They use their individual stars to get them over the line. That was the difference.
Yeah.
That was the example of, I can't say it, but a very good team beating a team of very good players.
Okay, let me ask you.
There's no rhythm in their attack.
No.
I want you to think about this for a minute. Take out the halves, okay?
Yep.
Leave every other player the same in the
Just
same
the Broncos,
positions.
you mean?
The Broncos, yeah. Just remove the halves and put in your choice of two halves. It doesn't matter whether they're the South halves, whether they're Roosters halves, Manly halves, or whatever.
Yep.
That team, I believe, is almost unbeatable.
I agree.
The only problem is, and you're right, Brian, that they focus on one-outs. The two tries that they scored were both individual tries. Both individual efforts.
Three, but two of them were for feet.
Two of them were individual efforts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you had decent halves running that team around the place,
Yep.
honestly, they would be a premiership winning team.
Well, I mean,
I'm not sure if I'd go that far, but
I would.
they'd be a sight better.
I mean, even last week they got over the Panthers 24-12, and what really sealed it for them? A big individual effort by Payne Haas.
Yep.
You know, broke 6 tackles and ran 30 metres and scored.
Yeah.
Like, really, they're coming down to one-off plays.
So now you put a halfback in there who says, okay, this is the play we're going to do, and this is where you're now going to aim. This is where you're going to head. This is the direction we're going to go. All of a sudden, they're scoring a hell of a lot more tries. I can tell you now. I think
all of a sudden they're the Roosters, and I mean that. But that's the way we're playing. Is our halves are directing the play, and they're scoring.
Let's just talk about the game at hand.
Anyway, I thought there were two excellent tries scored by the Rabbitohs, and they showed what they're capable of. But they went into hibernation again halfway through the game. I mean, they came out. I think Cook scored. Walker scored that try from Cook to Reynolds. That was genius, honestly.
Oh yeah,
that was genius.
It was. But I don't think they went into hibernation. I think at some points through the game, Brisbane picked up their intensity. They just couldn't keep it up the whole game.
Yeah.
I mean, Cook made a great try-saving tackle towards the end.
That's probably the best tackle of the year.
Yeah, and I honestly,
it was terrific.
Honestly, I thought they were going to win.
That was the game. That was the game.
Going to get over the top.
That was the game. I thought that was sensational. And he had a superb game. I mean, finally he was running the ball because he hasn't been running the ball. And they didn't have their biggest forwards in the plane that night.
No.
Yeah, he was able to still make meters.
Yeah,
So,
and Liam Knight had a brilliant game. I
He
think
did.
Look, I honestly thought it was an exceptional game, considering the build up to the game, where we have coaches arguing with each other.
I see. I like that.
So do I.
I like the play. I like the tribalism.
and what do we have to say about
It's the theatre.
Wayne Bennett's dance moves?
Oh my goodness!
I gotta say, I love.
Please don't.
I've watched it a few
That
times,
was,
and
that was cringy.
you know what it was, but have you ever seen Wayne Bennett do it before?
And I don't ever want to see it again.
That's the
was
Wayne Bennett that everybody talks about, that nobody ever gets to see.
And that's a good thing.
Oh no, come on! I don't know how you could think that was cringeworthy. I thought that was just a lot of fun.
I thought it was sticking it in your face and going, take that, cop that.
He wasn't. He was celebrating with his team.
Saying, cop
You're
that.
such a
I'm
gruff
back in
at times.
Brisbane and cop that Brisbane.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. I think it was a bit of that too,
Yeah.
and good.
So he should.
All right. Anyway, next
Okay,
game.
let's move on to Saturday afternoon at PointsBet Stadium, where the Sharks smashed the Warriors 42-16.
And it was tight for about 10 minutes.
The
Really?
first 10 minutes it was.
You're going to give them that much?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Warriors are terrible.
Oh, there.
Honestly, they can show up and blitz teams, or they can do nothing.
What did you think about the CEO coming out this week and saying some players aren't putting in, and then the coach Keeney firing back and saying that's my discussion. You shouldn't be saying it in
Well, he was
media.
the same person who came out and talked about John Johnson.
Yeah.
And I think he's overstepping his mark.
100%.
Is that affecting the team? Do you
Oh,
think?
they're not a unified. They don't look unified.
Well, it depends on which team turns up. Sometimes they look really good. And
Yeah,
we've talked about them through the year.
But
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like
handful
it's,
of games.
then it looks like that the Warriors aren't always on the same page. You get the coach, the CEO, the players, everybody's doing their own thing, and then every now and then the stars align and they're world beaters. But yeah, overall terrible.
I think Bronson Cherry's growing into a terrific player.
Yeah.
Yeah, or he's starting to come into what they've been touting about him.
Do you see as the Sharks being a premiership threat?
No,
I don't think so. I think they're in the second rung. I think.
they're a little bit hot and cold. When they start to go, they can go. But if you can stay with them, I don't think that they don't seem to have that same grit.
It wouldn't surprise me for them to get into the second week of the finals, but I don't think they'll get past that.
Yeah.
Poor old Sharkies.
Poor old Sharks. Well, what have got? Paul Gallen's got 2 weeks to go, and then
Yeah. That was very fitting. The Warriors giving him the
that was
send off.
They did the same with Cronk last week.
Yeah.
Good on them.
Yeah, I
really
like that. I like
classy.
that bit of respect.
Yeah. Classy.
Yeah. I just wish that they'd be more angry on the field, the Warriors. But anyway,
Well, they're called Warriors, and they don't play like Warriors.
they once were.
They
They play like Warriors.
yeah, they're too nice. They're too nice.
All right. Now, I didn't see much of this game.
Which
The next
one?
one. The next
Oh, well.
one.
Campbelltown Stadium, where the Tigers smashed the Knights 46-4.
So the Knights actually there.
30-0 at half time.
No,
But
the Knights
their
weren't
heads
there.
weren't there, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And that's both embarrassing and demeaning to Nathan Brown.
I thought that was,
Put out
and
that
that's right. I thought this was very disappointing, considering Nathan Brown comes out and says, "I'm resigning. I'm not going to be a coach next year," and he says to the players, "Now, don't go out there and play for me. Play for yourselves." Well, they obviously listened to what he said because they didn't play for him at all.
Yep, and they didn't want to be there by the looks of it.
It's hard, isn't it? I mean, this is the Warriors had, sorry, not the Warriors, the Tigers had their injuries, and when Benji Marshall says, I'll play dummy half, you don't really expect that the Tigers are going to offer much. You can take it. I mean, Benji's a great player, but it's not like they were going to worry. I thought they were just going to hang in there. And Newcastle, you're right. Nathan Brown gone. This is our chance. We're on the verge of the 8. Let's take this opportunity and smash it home.
And they haven't been in the 8 for 5 years, and this was their opportunity.
Yeah.
I thought the Robert Jennings trial was a joke. with Ponga. I mean, he went up and he basically impeded Ponga from getting the ball. Yeah. It was a little like when Tupou went up the other day against Chancellor Klokstad, and he got blinded by the sun, but he impeded the player.
He did, yeah.
And it was the same situation, and they awarded the try without even thinking about it. And it was Jared Maxwell, who I generally think gets most of them right. And Ponga was ordinary. I think Pearce is still trying, but I think it comes down to their reaction to Nathan Brown when he said he was going. And they interviewed Pearce, and he was basically sort of going, "Oh well, we have to move on now, and we'll have to plan for next year," and that sort of stuff. And Ponga, of course, the milkshake incident.
But
that's a young kid. I know that's a young kid, but I think he needs to learn from that situation. The media are always watching.
So are you suggesting that they're unhappy that he's moving on?
No,
or they're happy
that they don't care.
Yeah,
they don't.
I'll tell you. Today, or yesterday, after the game, apparently Brown addressed the team and said, "I will step down if you want me to step down, or we'll keep on coaching." As of today, 0 responses from any of the playing group.
Yeah. It's got to hurt.
What? Yeah, no. Yeah, okay, it's a good time to step down, or no, stick with the standard. Yeah. Nothing from anyone. Oh man. I mean, I don't mean to be rude, but that is a slap.
That's harsh.
That's
regardless of what you think of his coaching style, he's done a lot for that team.
Yeah.
An awful lot.
Yep.
They were wooden spooners 2 years in a row.
Yep.
He's brought in all these players who should be grateful that they've got the opportunities that they have.
I mean,
Mitchell Pearce could be playing in reserve grade of the Roosters.
Yep.
Had he not been given a start here.
Well, that's right. I mean, regardless, you got Kalen Ponga, Heimel Hunt, Sio Bradman Best apparently was given his shot. He's a good player. Sean Kenny Dow, who could have been thrown on the scrap heap. Mason Lino, Mitchell Pearce, David Clemmer, Daniel Safidi. There's some good names in that team.
I think David Clemmer was about the only one I saw actually put in. He was grasping at tackles and trying his best to do something.
So let's talk about the Tigers. Tigers, no Farah, no Little, a few other injuries. They played well.
They've got some quality in that team. Brooks is having another.
He's having a very,
season.
Very good year.
Really good season. I think Madison's been a great buy.
Yep.
So look, and Momirovski, who came from the Roosters, couldn't get a game, and he kicked. I think just about every one of his conversions and some of them from out wide. When he lost that game by missing 2 kicks, he was terrific, and he's been really solid as well.
So there's a lot of similarities between the Knights and the Tigers. Like the Knights have a lot of players that probably were given their opportunity, and if you look through the Tigers team, there's a lot of players there that were sacked by other clubs. Now, through no fault of their own, most of them, and the difference is astounding. 42 points.
One wants to play for the coach, one doesn't.
Yep.
All right, let's go on to Netstrata Jubilee Stadium, where the Roosters beat the Dragons 34-12.
I mean, it was a sensational first half, but it was really disappointing in the second half.
Over to Tom.
What else? What else do you say? I mean, I thought they.
And I've got to say, it was a sensational first half, but very disappointing second half.
Yeah.
For the Roosters to actually lose the second half,
sure,
there's an issue.
Well, they were never going to lose the game, but
no, of course they were.
But it was disappointing that some people said they put the cue in the rack, and the coach questioned it.
I think they did.
The coach questioned it. I mean, you think, well, if they put the cue in the rack, then you got plenty more points in them, but there's not a good attitude to have this late in the season.
It was 28-0 at half time. It was 34-0 into the second half.
Yep.
And that's where it stopped.
That's it. Yeah, the last try was scored in the 49th minute.
The Dragons didn't play any better than they were playing in the first half.
Yep.
It wasn't like all of a sudden they switched on. The Roosters, I think, switched off.
What Trent Robinson said in his press conference was that they played to the scoreboard. So they basically came out and thought, okay, well, we're in front now. And tried to push things and tried to be patient, not be patient. I like the way he evaluates games. He said, you lay a foundation in the first half, or in any half, lay the foundation, you earn the right to score points, by your defence, etc., etc. And he said we came out in the second half and just thought halftime didn't happen. We just can roll on with everything. He said you got to lay that foundation. Everybody's had a rest. They've had a break. Change of mind. Didn't do it. You know. So we won the game convincingly. Disappointing to finish that way, but
And the Dragons?
terrible. Look, Tristan Saylor had a really good game for his debut.
Yeah, and so did Billy Smith.
Yeah, and he's another junior. So we've actually got 3 juniors now playing for us. How good's that?
Until you buy someone else.
From a team that has four clubs to choose from,
3 juniors.
4 junior clubs to choose from, that is pretty good.
So sad.
It's just disappointing.
I keep saying
So
they should
good.
be South Feeder Club, and no one keeps listening to me. But that's
I
what
agree.
they're
I think
becoming.
the Ashton should be relocated to Adelaide.
Yeah.
Don't look at me.
Okay, I'd be happy. For them
Rabbitohs
to
just
go
want to
to
take over the world, basically.
So?
Swallow
No,
up the
just
world.
Sydney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just Sydney, not North Sydney, just Sydney.
Yeah, we don't want the bridge. No, you can have that.
Anyway, you've got to admit, first half was impressive.
Oh, very impressive.
Yeah.
But you've got to also admit that the competition that
No,
you played against wasn't
But
there.
you play what's in front of you, you take your
Yeah.
chances, we took our chances, it was good. The Roosters took their chances, yeah.
So, all right, let's go on to Amy Park, where, you know what? It was interesting. Melbourne beating Titans 24-8, but hardly impressive.
The best part about this was the Titans came out and said, we're going to have a crack. I don't think it was all the fact that Stan was that bad so much as the Titans had a crack. They really did have a crack. I thought, in the end, the quality came to the surface.
Yeah, sure.
They probably got a rev up at halftime. It was 8-6 to the Titans at halftime. But, I thought that the Titans had a red-hot crack, and with the lack of quality that they've been showing this year, that's probably the best performance they've put in half a dozen weeks.
This week there's been a lot said about Melbourne, about their style, in particular about Cameron Smith,
Yep.
With the ears and all that sort of stuff. Do you think the refs are starting to wake up and saying, if I don't start penalising them, if I don't start taking action against them, I could be in trouble, so
Yep.
therefore I'm noticing more now, because
Well,
Cameron Smith was very frustrated the other night.
and he made a few errors.
Yeah,
He made a few errors, and he looked frustrated. But frustrated with himself as much as with the refs. I mean,
there's a ridiculous 20 penalties in the game.
Yeah, that was
Cameron
ridiculous.
Munster got penalised for dissent twice.
Yep.
He's a hothead.
Oh yeah.
I like him, but he's a hothead.
Yeah. And I noticed too that Melbourne are starting to do this. They're all starting to strip the ball.
Yeah.
So they've latched onto this. They're saying, right, everyone else is doing it. That's another thing we can do, and we're doing it
Yeah,
now.
well,
So
that's right.
yeah,
We allow
yeah.
stupid rules like that, then
Yeah.
everyone's just going to be doing it. It'll be a messy game from here on in.
Yep. Yeah, I don't like it. Anyway.
Don't shake your head. I'm right. Okay? Honestly, it's going to tear the game apart.
All
We'll
right.
strip the game.
Yeah, lawyers and doctors will be killing
That's
this
right.
game in 20 years. Thanks,
Let's
Gus.
go on to GIO Stadium, where Manly Sea Eagles beat the Raiders 18-14. Brian,
Correct.
Over to you, Brian.
was that a fair try?
Yeah.
Brian?
It was a try, but was it a penalty try? Is what you're asking?
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm asking it, was it a
He
fair
actually
try?
thinks that he was that Jack
Oh,
was
offside.
offside. Yeah, but he
And
wasn't.
he was. Well, the NRL have come out and said he was.
Oh, the NRL does
Which-
lot.
which
You know what? The
means that
NRL
the-
says lots of stupid stuff.
Well, it can't be stupid.
well,
They've
hang
looked
on,
at it.
hang on.
They've said it is.
No,
gonna
it
sit
doesn't
back, I
matter.
So
think.
it wouldn't have been a penalty try
Oh,
because it would
please.
never have been scored in the first place. It would have
Yeah,
been a penalty,
you know what?
maybe.
He should have been sin binned. Leilua up for the knees in the back.
The first, well, he did it twice.
Yeah, the first one
Which
I went,
one?
oh my goodness, how's he getting away with that? The second one he should have been sin
The
binned.
second one was a little bit too.
He's had 17 weeks off or something, and then
Oh, he's about to have another couple.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just want to go back to something that you said, Steve. Which team are the champion of stripping? Canberra.
Canberra, yeah.
Canberra by a mile. They're better than everyone else. How many strips were in that game?
Very few, I'd say.
0.
Right.
That's what happens when you hold the ball.
You know what? Because there was 26 penalties in the game. That's
Oh,
why
that's
there was
a-
no
that's a-
stripping. because there was a penalty every set.
And maybe
Oh,
because they
man.
were observing the strip
Oh.
a bit more.
No,
You
there was. It was. You know what? I sincerely believe I was expecting a lot more from that game.
I thought it was a very good game. I think
No.
they're being a bit hard.
It was-
I thought it was semi-final intensity.
Yeah.
It was frustrating. The stop, start. The
that was,
ongoing penalties,
Sure.
the lack of control. It's funny because you were saying like the way Trent Robinson handles the press. Well, Des was asked, "Oh, what do you think of all the penalties?" And he said, "Well, the rules are the rules, and there's going to be penalties in a game."
Yeah, of course.
He said, "But the discretionary ones, and some of those penalties were just stupid."
And early on the weekend, you had people laying all over other players and not getting up, and they weren't penalising that. So I don't know whether they had a word halfway through the round to say they need to enforce.
There was something happened because the last two games were.
Oh, it was just horrible. It was a horrible game to watch.
And it was also Ashley Klein. I don't know.
I won't go there. Look, it was a hard-fought win. I'm happy for the win. I'll take it.
Look, winning down in Canberra is tough.
Yeah.
So
and I said to you last week, I was wrong about Manly. You can't keep bringing up the fact that I picked them for the wooden spoon.
I can't do.
Well, you did. Just when you brought it up.
Just think
but hey, I'm already admitted on film, so to speak, that
you were wrong. Yes.
that I was wrong. I've done it. So don't keep bringing it up.
I don't think there were too many people who would have expected that Manly would have such a turnaround in form, and it's all down to this.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, look, great game. Jared Croker was exceptional. Not only did he score two tries, really he saved two. One of them in particular off Ruben Garrick, where all Ruben had to do was fall over the line. And Croker, whether it was intentional or not, came up to tackle, knocked the ball out of his hands.
And he's in it.
Yep.
He really has
you know what? You want to
Jared
talk
Croker.
about the tackle in the Melbourne Titans game, where Josh Adokar makes a break
Phillips
all the way to the line. He gets
exceptional,
tackled at the
wasn't
end, and that was an exceptional tackle.
Oh yeah.
That was,
Interestingly, though, the ball was called a knock on. If it had been like a tunnel ball underneath, Pappenhausen was right behind him, picked up the ball and jumped over the both of them and put it in the corner. That could easily have been a try had that not been a knock on. But that was exceptional from Phillips. A team that's got nothing to play for.
Yeah.
And
run 80.
I don't know why we're not talking about Manly and Canberra anymore, but don't worry.
But we forgot about it.
Because
You said it was a rotten game.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Oh,
so now we're talking about something that should be
let me talk about an incident that apparently has frustrated the Raiders fans. Now, have you ever been to a Raiders game?
No.
at home.
Anywhere. Like the Raiders.
Yeah, I mean, I've
They are, without a doubt, the most vocal, chanting, annoying. No, seriously, they are. Canberra supporters are nuts. So, and we got Hayden out there, I'm sure, listening. Canberra supporters find a way to get under everybody's skin with their ongoing chants. It drives me batty. I love it, but I swear, sometimes if I had hair, I'd pull it out. And right at the end of the match, I'm sure after the Raiders fans have gone crazy all match, Adam Fanua-Blake turns to the crowd, points to them, does the cry baby, and turns around.
That's shades of Mick Ennis, isn't it?
Yeah, I was going to
Shades of
say
Mick Ennis.
that's Mick Ennis last week.
And he's given them the clap.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, but you know what? Raiders fans will do it. They are so vocal during a match. I'm telling you, they are dead set nuts.
Yeah, but there's nothing wrong with it.
I didn't think there was anything wrong with it either. I actually thought it was a good play between the opposition and the
I'm
fans.
saying there's nothing wrong with what the Raiders do.
I
don't think what Adam Fanua-Blake did was very good.
I do.
But that's Adam Fanua-Blake.
I don't think that sort of thing's appropriate.
Yeah, so I got mixed up with the difference between the Raiders and the Rabbitohs. The ball gets kicked off at the start of the time, and they go offside.
Yeah, I know. Rabbitohs supporters don't know the game. No. The Raiders, they sing and they chant for the entire time, and they are dead set. They are so vocal. It's insane. The last time I saw them play at Brookvale, they were only like a tenth of the crowd. That was all I could hear. Them singing, it was driving me insane.
Raiders fans love it.
So yeah.
Good luck to them.
Yeah.
Good on
and I didn't think there was anything wrong with Adam Fanua-Blake.
Oh, I do.
You did?
Yeah.
Why? I'm just curious.
I just think you don't react to those things.
No, you do.
Yeah,
You know what? Because the next time when Manly and the Raiders play in the grand final this year,
won't happen.
it will be plenty of fire, and that will be brought up. You know, I want the characters, I want the passion, I want the fire. I want Wayne Bennett and Anthony Seibold to be at each other for the entire week beforehand. You know, I want. No, the Roosters just. They don't do anything. They're perfect. So I'll stop on that rant. Anyway.
At last.
Yeah, they're not. Okay, which one of you gentlemen is going to do the ladder for us this week?
Yeah.
The Storm remaining on top on 38 points.
Minor premiers.
Premiers assured.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, not assured. Oh no, they've got to play.
It's going to.
They've got to play the Cows.
They're playing you in the North Queensland.
Yeah. So they'll win North Queensland. Yeah, they win it.
Look, we're not worried about it. The Roosters 4 points behind on 34 points. The Raiders 4 points behind again in third on 30 points. There are actually 3 teams on 30 points. The Raiders, the Seagulls, and the Rabbitohs. Rabbitohs in fifth. The Eels in sixth on 28. The Sharks on 24. And Broncos rounding out the 8 on 23. So there's a lot of interest there because in 9th and 10th we have the West Tigers and the Panthers. On 20 points we have the Knights and the Bulldogs 11th and 12th. The Warriors on their own on 13th on 19 points. The Cowboys on 18 points. The Dragons on 16 points. And the Titans on 10 points.
And as Barry said,
Thank
goodness for the Titans.
because I tell you what, he wouldn't have been happy if they came last.
Well, 2016 we were thinking, yes, we were thankful for the Knights.
So I know we're 2 rounds out from the end of the season.
Yep.
Which is the standout team?
Of the top 8 or 10 or
overall. Because I'm just thinking,
They bring different things, really. I mean,
Storm have only lost 3 games all year. They're going great. They were supposed to fall off. They're an aging roster. Cameron Smith again. The Roosters just consistent. Raiders, thereabouts
they're
last
very
year.
impressive.
I think the Raiders and the Seagulls are very similar in that you don't know what you're going to get, but you're going to get fight. They're going to fight tooth and nail to the end.
Yep.
But the Raiders are a lot better than what they were last year.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and so are the Seagulls.
Seagulls second last to third. The
Rabbitohs are looking a bit
Spooners to sixth.
vulnerable until last week. They were looking vulnerable.
Yeah,
honestly.
but that was their mojo back, I hope.
Yeah. You hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to beat an out of form team in the finals.
See, he picks you up and then he dumps you.
That's all right. When it's the South Manly Grand Final and South Smash them, it's okay.
When you're on the ground, he rolls you over, thinking he's going to help you, and then he lays the boot in.
BJ all over. Give you my knees. All right.
No, you're. Yeah.
All right. Now, I don't look. I think there's some really good teams at the moment.
Yeah.
So
Okay, so Brisbane is sitting 8th. West Tigers and Penrith are the only 2 that we think can probably make it.
West Tigers have got St George next week, so that's a game they ought to win, and then they've got Cronulla to finish.
yeah. So the Tigers could. The Panthers cannot make it.
Yeah, well, they're playing the
Roosters. Going to
Roosters.
kill them.
Playing the Roosters next week at away, and then they're playing Newcastle, who you think might play for some pride. Who knows?
Yeah. I actually think the top 8 set.
Yeah.
You think?
Look, I think Tigers and Broncos may change, possibly, because Broncos have got Parra and then Canterbury. They're 2 tough games.
Yeah.
They should win them though.
They should beat Parramatta in Brisbane.
Yeah. That's the only thing I think that is for them. But
And-
I think Parramatta will want to lose.
So who have the West Tigers got the next 2 weeks?
They've got St George and Cronulla.
And you know what? They're both winnable for the Tigers as well.
They are. Yeah, Cronulla and Tigers again are fairly
yeah,
even,
that'll
I
be a
think.
close one.
Yeah.
Tigers should beat St George.
Yeah.
So I really only think the West Tigers are the only ones who could push anybody.
Okay. Before we go on to next week, I want to go back and talk about Newcastle.
Yep.
Brown has said he's leaving.
Mm-hmm.
The Roosters are looking at what's his name?
Adam O'Brien.
Adam O'Brien from the from the Roosters.
Yep.
And
That's
have said,
apparently a done deal.
yeah, I know, but have said we're looking for a rookie coach.
Right.
Tell me do you think that's a good idea or not? Because they've had a rookie coach who has got them to where they are.
Yeah.
Does it make sense to put another rookie coach in? Or should they be looking for someone... And look, maybe what they do is bring Tim Sheens back, and Matthew Johns has been saying, put in...
Football director
Put
or
him
something.
in and bring Tim Sheens in
Yeah.
to oversee what he does. But does it make sense to put another rookie coach in?
Well, the thing in Adam O'Brien's favour is he spent, I think, a decade or something like that under Craig Bellamy.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not a decade, but several years under Craig Bellamy. And he's had a year with Trent Robinson.
9 months.
So, so he's had a season with Trent Robinson.
9 months.
So,
It's not a season.
okay,
That's right.
whatever.
And if Nick Politis had his way, he would have been sacked last week.
Yeah.
So he comes with a bit of a pedigree of actually of being coached, being assistant coach under some good coaching. So that's probably in his favour. I mean, Nathan Brown got the job at St George with really virtually no experience at all. That's a rookie coach. This guy is going to be a rookie coach by name, but whether he's a rookie coach in experience, it's hard to know.
Well, can I, Garth Brennan was under some pretty decent coaches. David Ferner was under some pretty decent coaches.
Yep.
You
You can argue the step up is a big step.
Yeah, it is. To come from an assistant coach to a head coach and to take a team like Newcastle that all of a sudden seems a bit disjointed. There's issues with the players, there's issues with management and how they handle this.
I think if it was the middle
So
of the
rookie
season, I'd
coaching.
be worried. I think because he's actually going to have a breath, which means he's going to have a pre-season. That's a team capable of being in the A. They just lost the will to play for their coach.
Yeah. You know what? I'm in Steve's camp on this one.
Mhm.
There are training grounds. There are proven grounds. You've got the Canterbury Cup. You've got the Queensland Cup. You've got England. There's opportunities for a coach to be a head coach of a club somewhere.
Sure.
And no matter what you say, the difference between an assistant coach and a coach is it's a huge step. And you've got to look at the coaches that we've got. They've got good people supporting them. So Brown's going to Adam Brown, isn't it?
Nathan Brown.
No, the guy
Adam O'Brien.
Adam O'Brien. Adam O'Brien's going to step into this role.
Yeah.
And the first thing he's going to need to do is get good people around him.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have a good assistant and a good defensive and a good attacking coach and a good, so the structure at Newcastle, I don't know what it's like, but if Nathan Brown was running everything, which it looks like he was,
Yeah.
there's no structure in place. They're not putting in a coach; they've got to put in a whole structure. And is a rookie the right person to do that? That's the thing I'm not sure about. I'm sure the guy can coach if he's been in systems for 15 years. Like, surely he can coach.
I mean, the other thing is that somebody mentioned the other day that when you're an assistant coach, you can throw out suggestions, but then the coach can say, no, I don't want to do that. I want to do this. So it's not the same as being a head coach.
Absolutely. Anyway, I just find it surprising.
Yeah. I would have gone in this situation. I would have gone for a much more experienced coach.
Yep.
But anyway,
they're out there.
Well, we're not coaches.
I could. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
No, Brian, you couldn't.
I could do a good job.
No, you couldn't.
Yes, I
How you
could.
going to Supercoach?
Fantastic.
Guess who's playing you in Supercoach next week in the semis?
Oh, you finally won a game. Did you? I had a week off because I was that good.
Excuse me. and I won my semi-final, and I'm playing you next week.
Good. Prepare to
The
lose.
humility you have is breathtaking. Honestly, absolutely breathtaking.
He wouldn't even know what that word meant.
It means hot, doesn't it? Humility.
That's right. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, gentlemen,
Right.
let's move on to round 24 of the NRL.
Penultimate round of the regular
Penultimate.
season.
I
Sad.
understood that word, penultimate.
It's almost the ultimate.
Yeah, I know. I get that.
Doesn't really South Supporter.
Let's go on to 1300
I'd
Smile
say he's
Stadium
lying through his teeth, but can't do that
He's
either.
a South Supporter.
on Thursday night with the North Queensland. Listen, someone else want to do this show? I mean, I'm happy to step aside.
No, we love it. It's got to be a South Supporter.
North Queensland are playing Canterbury Bulldogs on Thursday night.
Yes. Okay. It's going to be a tough game because Cowboys are home. They showed a bit of form.
I'm leaning towards the home team.
Yeah, me too.
That's all. I mean, only because it's at home. And they had a win last week. I don't know.
I think I put my tips in. I think I've already tipped the Dogs, but I'm still a good waver on that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Just because I think the Dogs are on a roll. Honestly,
You tipped the Warriors last week. I couldn't believe it.
I know that was a complete mistake. Absolute mistake. It was a complete brain fade. I don't know what was going on there.
Just keep fading.
I remember you said Warriors really on text, and I went, yeah, but remember they got 42 points put on them. He said, but you tipped them. What?
So we're all going North Queensland this one.
Yeah, for now.
I'm still not sure.
You've gone
I'm still not sure.
Dogs, okay.
Yeah.
Let's go to Mount Smart Stadium on Friday night at 6 o'clock where the Warriors are playing the South Sydney Rabbitohs.
I'm worried. Do you have your mojo back?
We've got our mojo back.
One win against Brisbane, I don't know.
Warriors got nothing to play for now.
Yeah, I'm going the Rabbits.
Yeah, the Rabbits. Yeah.
Of course you are.
No, not of course. I don't want to.
Yeah, that's right.
And you'll be cheering loud and proud, let me tell you. Let's go on to Suncorp Stadium where Brisbane Broncos are playing Parramatta Eels.
See, this is the same as the Cowboys Bulldogs game. I'm just going to go the home team. Broncos didn't offer much, but
I'm going the
they're
Eels.
at home.
Eels need to bounce back. They need to.
They need
to. Because they're not. Their form's their confidence will be down. They need to.
Are they able to?
Don't know, but they need to.
Steve, break the deadlock.
I'm going Broncos.
Big surprise there.
Yeah, I know.
You actually had to ask.
I know, but I just wanted it on camera.
Do you realise this game locks the 8?
Right.
Because they were moving to 24 points. And I think even regardless of what happens with the Tigers, because of their for and against, it's going to hurt them.
Okay.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Well, that's another incentive for the Broncos.
Yeah, I think this locks the 8.
Oh, wow.
McDonald Jones Stadium on Saturday afternoon where the Newcastle Knights are playing the Gold Coast Titans.
The only saving grace for this game is at McDonald Jones Stadium. I think the Knights will be so embarrassed they won't dish that up again.
Yeah, is Nathan Brown going to still be coaching?
I don't think it's going to matter. I think the team will take it upon themselves and say, we were embarrassed, we were shamed, we didn't expect to be, but we were. We're not going to let that happen.
Well,
again.
we're going to hope that's what they're going to do.
That's what I reckon.
But the Titans really took it to Melbourne in Melbourne.
Yeah.
Like nothing to play for, and they took it to them.
Yep.
So,
I bet you tipped the Knights.
Yeah. There's no way. I'm not picking the Titans.
Yeah.
All right,
Well,
let the hate flow.
Lotto Land on Saturday evening, Manly Sea Eagles against the Melbourne Storm.
How fatigued are you going to be from that game against the Raiders?
Oh no, it's a full week off. They're professional players.
Doesn't always happen that way.
I tell you, I am concerned that we lost 2 players in Moses Sully and
2 injuries.
Joel Thompson.
Yep.
We do get Curtis Sirinen and Brad Parker back.
So did Joel Thompson break his arm?
Yeah, 4 to 6 weeks.
So he's gone.
Yeah, so we've got to make the grand final so he can play for us again.
Yeah. No, he won't be playing for you again then.
He should book his Bali holiday then.
Yeah. Trust me. Brian, come on, seriously.
Along with your
Well, tell me, seriously, who have we not beaten in the 8? We've beaten them all, except for stupid Roosters.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. It's
Well,
a whole new
it
thing.
does matter. You keep saying as though it's over, but when your team wins, they win, Steve.
It's a whole new thing.
Just because you can't beat Melbourne
you can't
or the Roosters,
we beat the Roosters.
They beat us.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
you won all with Manly.
Round 1 they always beat us. We're never quite ready.
All right.
Anyway, I'm sorry, I have to go Melbourne this one.
Yeah,
I'm going the Eagles.
What?
It's a Brook vote.
You're going the Eagles?
And I don't think the Storm have been that convincing. Seriously.
Wow.
No, I'm going the Eagles.
I was prepared for the hate, but I got a little bit of love.
And you're going for?
Oh, Eagles, yeah.
Yeah. Look, I think it'll be close.
You know, I would love to not be able to put my tip in until after I see which way they're running.
Oh yeah.
Look, I don't know. Look, it's come up a few times on commentary lately, but I remember
the grandstand end.
The grandstand end at Brookvale Oval. I remember. I think I was with Tom a couple of years ago, and I went, "Don't worry, run into the grandstand." Tom's like, "What are you talking about?"
And then they came back.
And they came back.
Yeah.
It's that end of the ground.
Yeah.
All right, let's go on to the last game on Saturday night, the Sydney Cricket Ground, where the Roosters are playing the Panthers.
Going with Brennan to the last home game at the SCG, which has been a bit of a fortress for us. Somebody made a quote, the last 5 games we played,
Just
scored 30 or 40 points
Yeah.
against the teams there. Look, the Panthers are either going to be absolutely desperate and throw everything at us, or they're just shut up shop.
They'll shut up shop.
Yeah.
Roosters.
We should win this.
Say it, Steve.
It hurts,
No, I know it does.
But you have to say it.
but I have to say it. Yes, there'll be a winner in this game.
No, sorry. People are hanging on you every word.
Yeah.
You've got to say who's
Okay,
going to
well,
win
it
the
won't
game.
be the Panthers.
I like
So
that.
don't
That's
back
good.
the Panthers. Well, you can do what you like, but because I don't know anything anyway.
Yeah, that's finally some honesty.
Well, I'm being honest.
Yeah, I know. Now, go on.
PointsBet Stadium on Sunday afternoon, where the Cronulla Sharks are playing the Canberra Raiders. This should be a good game.
Well, I'm actually going to go for the upset and go the Sharks.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, seriously, I just think the Sharks have got that. They're a little bit more desperate right now.
But you know what? The Raiders need to hang on to third spot, and they know that you are after it too.
That's why I wanted to lose.
So no intuition or judgment. Just
No.
Oh, come on! The Sharks had a massive win
against
last
the
week.
Warriors.
It was still a really good win. And the Raiders had a hard-fought battle, which they lost at home. Confidence dented, confidence up.
So the fact that Manly had a hard-fought battle doesn't make it mean anything.
No, look, you know what? If it was in Canberra, I'd be picking Canberra.
Yeah.
So this will be interesting. So Souths win, they move up. Manly win, they move up. Raiders lose,
They drop.
they drop. So
The
all of a
fifth, they can drop
sudden,
to fifth, even.
yeah.
Don't worry. I'll be death riding Souths as well. I'll be hoping the Warriors win.
Okay, so I'm going
Don't do
the Raiders.
Yeah, I'm going Raiders as well.
Yeah,
I'm going Sharks.
I'm going Sharks. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm actually going Sharks.
All right, the last one is at Sydney Cricket Ground with St George Illawarra playing the
Sydney
West
Cricket Ground.
Tigers.
Oh.
I don't know.
Why is it the Sydney Cricket Ground?
I don't know.
That's really odd, because the Eels aren't playing at Banquet. Oh, well, it's not a home game for Tigers, but
Yeah.
No.
but the Dragons, why are they playing at a home ground?
I don't know.
Anyway.
Somebody out there will
Tigers
tell
win
us.
this. Tigers will win this.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I don't know.
Tigers have to win this. But you know what?
Yeah, more to play for.
But the Dragons still have a pretty decent team. I can't understand why they keep losing.
It's their coach.
I don't know that it is.
I don't want to death ride him.
I think
but-
you are.
Seriously, that is a talented Dragons team.
Yep.
They've got some really good players in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. If it was at Cogra, I'd be saying I'd be going the Dragons, but I just don't know. Cricket ground.
Gee, is that the sun coming up? The show's been going a long time.
No, it doesn't.
You should stop
This is
talking.
earlier than usual.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
well,
wow.
we handed the microphone over to you when it got to the Roosters game, and you only spoke for 10 minutes, not 20.
All right.
We spent more time on the Raiders Manly game than we did on the Roosters.
No, you didn't. Halfway through the
You know-
Manly Raiders game, you went back to the Melbourne game.
Yeah,
You know,
you
which is-
guys
the-
hate us.
Barry, one of our avid viewers,
Yes.
who is a St George supporter, I texted him the other night through the St George Roosters game when the Roosters were well ahead. I said, "Are you watching this?" And he didn't answer me for a while. And then he came back and said, "Thankfully, no." So
You should have watched the second half.
Even Barry switched
You
off.
should have watched the second half.
Yeah, I tell you, it's when you're a die-hard supporter and your team is performing miserably, gee, it is hard to watch
It
sometimes.
really
for
is.
sure.
It really is.
For sure.
All right, that brings us to the end of our show. Brian, anything intelligent you want to add before we go?
Yeah, Manly in third by the end of next weekend.
I said intelligent.
That's it. All we have to do is beat Melbourne again.
Tom, would you like to make a bold statement for this weekend? What's a bold statement that...
That we'll still be in second.
Oh, that's not bold.
Yeah, but you'll
Well,
only.
we have to be in second because if we lost, we'd still be in second.
Yeah.
That's right. So that's
Yeah,
not bold.
Tom, yeah, but don't worry, you'll be 2 points closer to first when Manly beat the Storm. See,
Yeah, okay.
you could
I'll
pick,
take
you could be minor premiers if
Yeah.
the Storm keep
Okay,
losing.
yeah, now we are going to
Yeah,
end the
okay.
show. Thank you for watching. This is NRL from the Sidelines with Tom, Brian and Steve. And we appreciate you watching, and we'll do it all again next week. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Good night.
So yeah.